Hey folks, it's Farmer Marshall. It's a time of year where the season's a little confused because I have summer plants and I have fall plants. So I don't know if I should do a summer harvest tour or if I should get a little bit of a fall garden tour. Or maybe I do a little bit of both because I do have both. So let me ask you a question. Have you taken your spring summer garden out yet? Or have you left it in there? I don't know what that was. I don't know if I need to duck or what. People can't drive. Sound like a truck hitting something. Anyway, if you haven't taken it out, what's still in your spring summer garden? Are you planning on planting a fall winter garden? I know I am. So I'd like to know what you're planning, if you're going to plant a fall winter garden, and what you have still in your spring summer garden. And also, plant a seed by hitting the like button. And you know, as a gardener, my biggest harvest is you. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you can be back here next time I have something going on in the garden. Because I'm going to be here all fall, winter long, growing some food. One feature in my summer garden that was new is I added this trellis. 4 cattle panel trellises going up about 6.5, maybe 7 feet tall. And my tomatoes, and actually most of my garden, was devastated by the heat, the bugs, and the disease this year. And as you can see, a lot of the lower part of my tomato plants have nothing. No branches. I've taken some branches off, but a lot of the leaves died anyway. But once the heat left and the bugs were eliminated and the diseases were, well, they killed off some stuff, I was still left with plants that had plenty of fruit on it. Much more than I expected. I probably have about 50 tomatoes on here. And I'm having a problem lately where a lot of them are starting to get holes in them. And I'm not sure if it's from bugs or birds or what. But as you can see, I have plenty of tomatoes up here. I doubt if all of them are going to get ripened. But what I'm trying to do is save the ones that are close to ripening. So anything like this that's blushing is getting taken off. And these are the little holes here. I guess, hope you can see that little, let's see if I can move this over here better. That damage there on that one, it's, I'm not sure what it's from, but I'm not overly concerned because I'm gonna take what I, this one's actually clearer. I'm getting stuff like that on some of these tomatoes, so probably a bug or something, but I'm not overly concerned. I'm taking what I can get. I'm still getting cherry tomatoes. Decent amount of those, maybe a handful every few days. I have one of my favorite cherry tomatoes, the black cherry tomatoes. That one's pretty close. Maybe give it another day or so, or I could bring it in. And this one here, this is what I'm talking about as far as taking them when they blush. When I start seeing a little bit of blush on it like that, I'm taking them, and as you can see, I'm putting them on my kitchen counter, and they're continuing the ripening process. This one has blushed a little bit too, so yeah, I know it might seem a little bit extreme, but I'm extremely happy with being able to take these tomatoes and put them on my counter and having fresh tomatoes that I can eat. As the rest of the tomatoes, like, that's a decent sized tomato. So if it doesn't ripen or start to blush, which it looks like it might be starting to get full grown size green. So once they blush, I pull them. But if they don't, fried green tomatoes, folks. I love my fried green tomatoes. I have about 50 tomatoes out here. As you can see, some of the damage just from, some of this is just from, I guess the nights have been cold lately, or colder. I think last night it got down to 40. So this is part of what I'm going to be harvesting eventually. I know some people are saying when it comes to the tomato plants, why don't I want to just rip them out? They look horrible. It's fall, get your fall garden in. Well, these guys are planted directly on my trellis. So they aren't interfering with my spacing with my fall vegetables. And by the time my fall vegetables get big, all the tomato plants will be gone. But until then, I'm not going to just take the plants out because it's time. I let them decide when it's time to be taken out. And right now, they're still producing, so they're staying in. And along with some of my pepper plants. Now I have about 4 pepper plants. All of them are these long chili pepper plants. Funny thing is, it's still flowering, but I don't expect that I'm going to be getting any growth out of the flowers. But look at that. These guys are nice. I've already picked a bunch off of this plant, but it still has about 7 or 8 more peppers on it. I'm probably going to dehydrate all of them or can them, maybe make some pepper sauce. This guy here is, hey, it's red. This guy has to come. I guess that little green one wants to follow his little buddy. This plant here is my most disappointing pepper plants. Most years do pretty great on pepper plants. I decided to try a different variety. These are supposed to be, well, they are. I grew them from seed. All my peppers I grew from seed. These are Jimmy Nardello pepper plants. This is 1, and this is 2. And I've harvested exactly 1 pepper from this plant. I don't know what happened. I did the same watering. I did the same fertilization. They're, 6 feet away from my other ones. Actually, there was another one right here. So they were maybe 1.5 feet away from the other ones. The other ones did much better. Jimmy Nardello was a complete disappointment for me, but I'm going to try them again because this is the results I usually get with pepper plants. Look at these here. The long chili peppers. Something ate on that. I don't know what ate on that, but hope it liked it. But I'm going to take the little red ones off. Well, little. That's a good 5 inches. So, has tons of peppers on it. Probably about 40, 50 peppers on this one plant. And unless you're planning on dehydrating a plant like this, or peppers like this, or canning them, most people can deal with having 1 plant. Because this is more than enough for 1 person unless you're completely pepper nut. Well, don't call you nut. Anyway, you are what you are. You know who you are. If you're nutty about pepper plants, about peppers, and these are your peppers, yeah, look at that. I mean, why would I take these plants out when they're producing like this? I'm going to take them out soon enough, though, because I am going to have some other seedlings that I can place out here. Yeah, these guys have seen better days, but probably the next month they'll be out, or whenever the first frost hits. Look at that. Why would I? These are some more black cherry tomato. Why would I take these out? Now I want to have a chance for just a little bit more. So I'm going to treat my pepper plants a lot like I'm treating my tomato plants. Even though the pepper plants are kind of in the way for my seedlings are going to be small anyway. And these peppers aren't taking up so much space and preventing so much sunlight that I can't put other seedlings between them. And as the seedlings grow up, they'll reach closer to the sun, and eventually my pepper plants will be gone. So my seedlings are going to be here through all fall, most of the winter. Some of these plants, like my collard greens, my cabbage, my Brussels sprouts. Obviously, Brussels sprouts, once you get that head, you can leave it in there to get a little more side shoots. But this year, I'm going to try something different. I'm not worried about side shoots. My plan is to do succession sowing, where after a certain amount of weeks of having, let's say, a cabbage plant in my garden, I'm going to start more seedlings and get them out here. So when the first set of cabbage first set of cauliflower or broccoli gets ready, once that gets ready, I'll just take the whole plant out and I'll have a new plant to replace it that can give me a nice big head of cauliflower or broccoli. So that's the plan. We'll see how that works. If you want to, if you have time, take a look at your last frost date or your first frost date, your first average frost date, and ask yourself, do you have time to get something in the ground that will produce in 30, 45 days? Lettuce is one of those items. You can get a harvest from lettuce very quickly in many grow zones. So look up your last frost date or your first frost date. And if it says your first frost date is, let's say, November 31st or November 30th, you have maybe 40 days to get lettuce in ground. Now, these guys were from seed. And no, these aren't lettuce here. These will last through a frost. And if you cover them, they will last a harder freeze. I'm not saying they're going to last through 10 degrees, but sometimes if you get them in ground, especially right now, you probably want to go with starts. But these guys, well, these guys are stars as far as growing fast, giving you production quickly, and they don't take a lot of space. I have, these are red romaine here. I have about 4 or 5 there, and I thought these were all supposed to be the same lettuce, but apparently not. This might be my black seeded Simpson, because I planted a bunch of those too. And this guy here, see that little guy right here? Not this here. This guy here, that was some lettuce my wife had, and I just took the bud, the bottom part of it, put it in here. I'm hoping that it grows. It hasn't died, and looks like some of the leaves have started growing, so we'll see. You know, don't have to throw the bottom part out, because that will sprout roots. I did the same thing with green onions. I have about 10, 15 green onions on my deck that are growing from just taking the root part of my green onions. Right next to that, I have green beans, green beans. Oh yeah, these guys are already here. It's not a bunch of them. I had more during the summer where I just pop these in my pot here, just to give me a little bit more. I'm going to cook green beans today, so this will be a nice little addition. I had a bunch in the freezer. Here's more beans here, and along with it, I have planted. What do I have planted with it? Oh, blue kale. So blue kale, Swiss chard, blue kale. I have, okay, what is that there? That's not blue kale. I don't see my label, but this is the label for it. Oh, turnips. I don't know what knocked that over. Okay, turnips here. They're small, but they'll grow. If they don't produce before first frost, these guys will last through the winter. So it's not an issue if I harvest them this year, or if I harvest them early next year, January, February, whenever. More okra plants. I need to go and take these out. I know it's blooming, and I hate to take it out, but I might, I don't know. I'm going to take them out. Not today, though. Hey, Quail, say hi. Okay, guys. Can do better than that. Say hi. I have about 25 quail in here. I need to do something. Here's some bok choy. Something I'm trying for the first time this year. I think I saw Broke Farmer growing these. He says he loves them, so I'm going to give them a try. I still have more seedlings here. Banana plant. So that's about all I have going on today. Oh, look at these. It's hard to tell, but I can tell that these tomatoes are getting lighter, so they're about to start blushing. Once they blush, those guys can come in. Now, you can probably tell that, well, this, oh, look at that. Just a slight blush. I'm going to give it another day, but that baby's coming in. Oh, I can't forget about my muscadines. There's not much left. I picked most of them already, but there's still a little bit out here. These guys are tasty. Trying to feed some seed. Now, normally I don't have any luck in growing grapevines. I've had absolutely horrible luck on it, but my wife planted some, well, she ate some muscadines. She decided to save the seeds and plant them, and well, look at this. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll plant a grapevine that I buy from a store and it'll die in a year. But hey, am I a little bitter or jealous? Sure, but I'm happy that she planted them because these have been good producers.